Hi, welcome to module 2. In this module, the first lecture that we are going to start is how to access the command prompt. Now there are two ways to access the command prompt. One is using the graphical user interface and second is by using the command line interface. In the graphical user interface, it's pretty straightforward, wherein you will access an application called terminal and you will get a black screen wherein you will issue all your commands and we will interact with the system. The second interface is the command line interface. So we can shift to the purely command line interface by making use of Control, Alt and one of the function keys starting from F3, F4, F5 till F6. So these four keys will allow you to access a different terminal. So the advantage of having a different terminal is that you can log into any terminal with a different user account, and whatever you do on one terminal will be separate from whatever you have been doing on the other terminal. So in this way, it gives you a feel of the multi-user environment where you can access the machine through different user accounts and do not affect whatever one user account or whatever you are doing through a user account. So now once you are in a command line interface, to come back to the graphical user interface, you can make use of Control, Alt and F2 function key. Now let us see how to access the command line practically. So once we log in into the machine, we will see this graphical user interface. Now what we need to do is we need to get to the terminal or to the shell. So you can click on the activities and at the bottom you will see this terminal here. So you can click here and you will get the terminal. So here we are going to type all the commands that we are going to use. For example, let's suppose you use the command ls and we will get the result here. So everything that we are going to do on this particular terminal. So this is one way wherein using the graphical user interface you can get to the terminal. The second way, and which is the preferred way, is the purely command line interface. So what happens here is since this is the graphical user interface, you will be able to use mouse, and at times you have the tendency to get into the files and folders or directories directly, okay, by using the graphical user interface, which I don't want. So you should be using the command line, purely command line interface, wherein the mouse will not work and everything that you will be doing, you will do it with the commands. So that helps you to train yourself, that helps you to practice more. Now how to get to that command line interface? So as discussed, you need to press Control, Alt and the F3 function key. So you see that the interface has changed, it has gone all black, your mouse is not working now. So here you log in with the username and your password, and this is exactly the same terminal that we got earlier. Whatever I did there, I can do here also. There is no change, this is exactly the same thing. Another advantage here is, now this is one of the interface and Linux provides you multiple such interfaces. So Linux is used for a multi-user environment. Now although this is a personal computer, a laptop or a desktop is a personal computer, so you have only one screen, but just think that you are working in an environment where multiple people can use the same machine. So they are connected to the same processor, to the same CPU, but different terminals. Terminal means what? A combination of, you can think of a screen and a keyboard is given to every user, but they are using the processing power of the same processor, the same CPU. So what I can do is, so since you pressed Control Alt F3, now you press Control Alt F4 and you will see that again your screen has turned black. So this is a different terminal. So here I will log in with the root user. So you can also do that. Alright, just look at the line here. It says TTY4. But once you press Control Alt F3, so you can go back, Control Alt F3. Here you see it is TTY4. That's a different terminal. Here I have got this screen. So this you can think of, the Windows user can think of different desktop environments that you have independent of each other. So you can do some task on one of the environment desktop and some of the tasks on another desktop, and they will not interfere with each other. This will be required at some point of the time, so you need to know this. So you get different terminals by pressing Ctrl Alt F3, F4, F5, F6, and then you can get back to the graphical interface if you want by pressing Ctrl Alt F2. So you get these 4-5 terminals to practice by logging into different users. Alright. Now once you are able to access the command line, the first thing that you will see is a command prompt. The command prompt will look something like this, wherein the first entry is the username, which means that the user with which you have logged in, then @ sign, and then the machine name. So it doesn't matter with which user you have logged in, the machine name will always be the same. Then there will be tilde sign. The tilde sign means that this is the user's home directory. If it is not a tilde sign, it will be the name of the current directory that you are working in. So this we will see later on in the course, that how this tilde sign changes to the name of a current working directory. Finally, you will see either a $sign or a hash sign. The $sign means that this particular user is a regular or a normal user, whereas a hash sign means that the user is a root user or a administrator. Okay, so this is your command prompt. The very first name that you get is the username. After @, whatever you see is your machine name. So it may be same, it may be different depending upon how you have configured your machine. So if your machine name is different from the username, both these names will be different. Then we get this tilde sign, and since here I have logged in with the normal user, so I am getting $. But if I log in with the root user, I will get here a hash symbol. So I will press Ctrl Alt F4, and here if you remember I logged in with the root user account. So here you can see the symbol is hash. So hash means that you have logged in with the root user account, and $ means you have logged in with the normal user account. So I hope that you are able to access the command prompt and issue some commands that you have gone through in the video. In the next video, we are going to start by learning some of the basic commands that will get us going with the use of Linux.